Guys, this is Streamer Carlos. On tonight's video, I'm gonna give you my review of episode 2 of season 1 of Modern Family, or MF, for short, for short, acronym wise. So here we go, guys. I love this episode. First, I'm going to split from now on the episode. I'm going to still be talking about the episode itself, but since there's 3 families, it's going to be a three-sided episode, probably each episode of season 1 and going forward. So on the first side, we have Jay and Gloria, and of course Manny. So Manny's dad, biological dad, promises cool and awesome stuff to do with him, but he doesn't keep his word. So normally, Jay and Gloria have to change their one-on-one plans to accommodate Manny, which is not his fault, and this is not the exception. In another plot twist, another twist to the heart of Manny, his biological dad said, both of us, we're going to Disneyland. Just the 2 of us. Meanwhile, Gloria and Jay plan a one-on-one romantic weekend in Napa Valley, which is California wine nation, wine country, wine planet, the wine planet capital of the state of California. But tragically for Jay, first he has to bond with Manny by fixing his fan, his bedroom fan, just the 2 of them, so they could bond together by fixing it together. But Jay has his ways and Manny has his safety ways, meaning Manny's very meticulous and he's very safe conscious. So Manny reads every instruction of the manual, as he should. But Jay is like that, but Jay is like to Manny, stop worrying too much. And eventually they get into a spicy hot sauce type of argument, where Manny says, "I wish you hadn't married my mom." And Jay says, "Well, do you think I love our current equation? No. If it were up to me, Manny, it would just be the 2 of us, meaning your mom and me." And eventually, Manny's biological father calls Jay, or Jay picks up the phone, and it's Manny's biological father, and says to Jay that he can't he can't make it and pick up Manny so they can go with both of them to Disneyland. So what does Jay do? Like he always does, like he has been doing in secret, just by himself, lying about the truth, about the truth circumstances of why yes, Javier Javier Vega, meaning Manny's biological father, won't won't show up. And this time, Jay says to Manny, your father couldn't make it because an old lady needed to sit on sit in your dad's seat, so that's why he couldn't make make it. But he told me that I and your mom should take you to to Disney to Disney to this Disneyland in style. Disneyland in style in a limo. And with that, guys, and and with that, Jay and Gloria went to Disneyland fancy style. Fancy style. On then so that's the first side of this of this second episode. The second side of this episode is basically about Cameron and Mitchell. Mitchell and Cameron have signed up to a baby class. A baby class, a, a baby class, a baby teaching class, or a baby lesson class. And of course Mitchell is like to Cam, don't stop. Can you be less? Can you be less of you? Less like yourself, meaning dramatic and less LGBT-ish, LGBTQ-ish, if you know what I mean, guys. And Cam is like, I can't do that, but okay, whatever gets your whatever suits your float, Mitchell. I'll just put on khaki pants, a polo shirt, a polo, a croquet shirt, meaning polo shirt, meaning a croquet style shirt, and no one will know that you and I are raising Lily together. But this class turned Cameron or Mitchell into Darth Pride Vader. He basically stole Lily, stole blocks from another baby of the class, so he could pretend that Lily created a building or a building out of those blocks, and he prohibited Cam to basically show his pride self. And to top it all off, for Cameron, one of the attendees, one of their class parent mates, was like to Cameron, Mamma Mia and Meryl Streep made Mamma Mia horrible, a horrible experience to watch. And of course, Cameron took that in stride, but he was seething. He was mad as mad as red hot mad as a red pinkish hot pink flamingo. Then like I said before, Mitchell had stolen some blocks from another baby from the class, so Lily could get credit for building and grabbing and creating with her little hand this this uh, stack of blocks. But luckily or unluckily, but funny for us, the class had cameras, and to make matters worse for Mitchell, two other LGBTQ members showed up at the class, and Cameron was like, "Oh my God," without saying the words "Oh my God." Really, I could have shown my pride off, but I had to listen to you, Mr. Darth Pride, Mr. Darth Pride, and Mitchell was like, "I don't know what happened to me today, but this class, it made me into Darth Pride," meaning the LGBTQ version, LGBTQ version of Darth Vader. Now for the third and final side of this episode, Luke gets a new bike because his current bike is Alex's old bike, and it's pink. But Phil is like, "This has to stop. I'm tired of seeing my son Luke getting ridiculed because he's riding his sister's bike. He needs to ride a cool and guide color bike." And that bully that Phil is talking about is basically Jen. Yes, Luke's own grandfather. And this new bike, or bike itself is a good responsibility gauger for Luke. But Claire has stopped Phil, or both her and Phil from buying Luke an awesome bike. But again, Phil took the matters into his own hands. So in secret, he and Luke bought him a new bike. And Phil was like, buddy Luke, this is very important, and I know you will try to be responsible, but some members of our family, your mom, your mom, your mom, don't think that you are responsible. But we will show her, or you will show, but you will show her. But you will show her. And one more thing, have 300,000 miles of gajillion miles of fun. But in a twist of fate, in a twist of funny fate, Luke leaves his bike unattended. So Phil is like, I told them not to leave his bike alone or unattended. So Phil has the great idea to teach Luke a lesson. He will pretend to steal Luke's bike, but eventually return it. But what Phil did not know is that Luke did keep his bike. He was very responsible with his new bike. The bike that Phil stole was from another little dude, or another kid. And to top this all off, for Phil, their new neighbor, a pretty attractive girl, pretty attractive woman, who is their neighbor, their new neighbor, or semi new neighbor. According to Claire, her charity. According to Claire, and this is words from this is exactly how Claire put it. This new neighbor, semi new neighbor, has done the cha 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 of passion with two other members of their charity group. If you know what I mean. And of course, Phil is like, that's horrible. But secretly, inside of him, he's like, cool, man. Like, not like cool. If Claire wasn't here physically, meaning if the G-force, meaning haven't called Claire up, I would be all lovey-dovey and all romantically, all Romeo up with our semi neighbor, but I don't tell that to Claire. So in a so today to about a couple blocks from home, and still thinking that the bike that he has pretended to steal is Luke's. Phil bumps into his new semi neighbor, and she says, I locked myself out by accident of my house, and I left my keys in my bedroom. My keys in my bedroom. So Phil, being the good neighbor that he is, and a good realtor at the same time, says, I'll help you. and and without telling Claire. But Claire doesn't know that that Luke had 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 left his bike unattended, and that Phil had pretended to steal Luke's new bike until she found out. But what Phil did not count on is that his new semi attractive semi new neighbor would bring back his pretend steal stolen bike of Luke's that is not really Luke's, because Luke's real bike is in the garage, responsibly kept and safe and not broken at all. And Claire after hearing what her attractive and semi new neighbor said next, made Claire get really heated up with Phil. And with that, guys, here's the advice from episode 2 of season 1 of Modern Family. Yes, parenting can get crazy. Sometimes parenting can get crazy, and some parents are not always there. They're not always present. But to the parents that try to be present and try their best to be present and on Darth Pridal, more power to them. And with that, guys, this is how this wonderful episode of season 1, second episode of season 1 of Modern Family ends. So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to tap that like button if you want to expand your time and get updates on my videos. Don't doubt and hit that and tap that notification bell. Now, if you want to expand your time here on my channel, don't forget and subscribe. And with that, until we modern again, bye.